In this episode, would you let AI be your therapist?
And on the flip side, we answer your community ticket questions, including, is dancing a sport? Should we let Ed the zebra free in Tennessee? And what would you do if you were stuck in the room with an A-list celebrity? Mike, hit the music.
And welcome back to another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. Fun fact, the Funny Business Podcast is celebrating a longer tenure than United States Postal Service's podcast. You heard that right. USPS can take that and mail it down and suck it. My name's Mike Gambito. Alongside with me is my best friend for life, Mr. Matt Summers. Matt, how are you? How are things? I want to make a note. My mom was a USPS driver for 10 years. I love her dearly, but God forbid. Get your mail, people. Matt, tell me, how are you? How are things?
I gotta collect myself. The USPS has a podcast.
Yes. First of all, let's decipher that really quick.
Let's dive into that. Question one, about what? Is it why the mail's always late?
So their first podcast was September 28th, 2021.
Okay.
It was an ode to the zip code. It was I should probably preface that I bet whoever makes these podcasts, I bet is a wonderful human being, but I don't know, maybe not your media man. So, and then a couple America's First Communications Network, Mail's Digital Dimension and Informed Delivery, an interview with Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, preparing for the holiday mailing season, Operation Santa, America's oldest law enforcement agency, the United States Postal Inspection Service, managing one of the world's most iconic brands, get ready for USPS Connect. So I guess they do it based on their services, election mail. But I saw it in my informed delivery today, and Jenna sent me a text. Shout out my fiance and my future wife, Jana. I don't know why I went all Southern.
What is happening with you
screenshotted, I don't know. She screenshotted the informed delivery, and she said, quite literally, everyone has a podcast, even USPS.
I feel like it's a shot at us. Everyone has a podcast?
Yeah, I kind of took that as a shot, but I kind of ignored it. I'm like, quite literally.
Yeah, maybe podcast equipment should be made more expensive nowadays. I mean, let's be real. We probably did get it cheap back in 2020.
I mean, your microphone was what, $50?
Yeah, Amazon.
And my equipment was technically, to start the podcast, was $0 because I had it lying around. That does not go to say that I just have lying equipment around.
Yeah, hit up Mike for your equipment needs.
Hence probably why I want to get a workbench.
We're not going to talk about that, though.
I think the reason why we get off the rails to start with when we record a podcast is when we have a long cold open that's not recorded.
Yeah. Those are the best episodes.
Well, not even that. Not even this time, this current portion of this second of the podcast before we start record and we introduce the show. I think we riffed, for 15 minutes?
Yeah, it's just the best. Just guys being dudes.
So I think we warmed up a little bit, in my opinion. So
yeah, I agree.
Did I hear how you were doing and how were things?
I didn't answer. No.
Okay.
Things are good, I think. I am preparing for vacation, which is awesome. It looks like it's going to be a great time. We'll get into that in a little bit. How are you?
I'm great, man. It is that time of the year where PTO needs to be taken, because if you don't use it, you'll lose it. Took quite a bit of little time, and gonna enjoy it as much as I can, especially when I take my day off, because I gotta record another episode with this man across the screen because he's gotta go on vacation.
Yep. Listen, we always plan ahead. We are maybe one of the most prepared podcasts out there, where maybe we don't always know where the episode's going to go, but we make sure we record the episodes. Never missed a week. 270 weeks, which is crazy. I mean, there's definitely podcasts that have done it.
Oh yeah.
Podcasts in our level that have done it? Probably not. Do you think if there's 5 tiers of podcasts?
5?
Let's just say there's A, B, C, D. No, A, B, C, D. There's 4 tiers.
Good.
We're probably like a C.
Yeah, we're C tier.
We're up on that C tier. Like, we've
yeah.
never missed a week in 270 weeks.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, that's the best way I can describe this podcast.
We have been commented on the quality, the content, and even two guys, two dudes that have full-time jobs and do this on top of that. I think we're pretty set in the C tier, man.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want to be, is just average.
Average Joes.
Yeah. Like, no one expects too much from you, but like when you do good, it's like, oh wow, look at them. Good for them.
Well, speaking of how we do, how things do, I'll give you the pivot point, Matt, to talk about today, AI.
Allen Iverson.
Yes. Artificial intelligence, mind you.
Oh.
Matt, check in. How has been your artificial intelligence journey?
Well, you all know my stance. I'm not a huge AI person. I am hesitant. I believe they will try to take over the world at one point, along with robots.
Okay.
I am dabbling a little more.
Nice.
And mostly with just ChatGPT. It's been pretty helpful at work, actually. That's about it.
You'll love to see it. It's been really helpful when it comes to meetings, putting agendas together, being able to basically tell myself, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing a good job? Not that ChatGPT is above all be all. There's only one person that does that.
It's really good for getting templates for like things you're trying to make.
Great. Yes, for sure. Matt, so there's a couple of businesses out there that are in the AI game. We know, obviously, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Google Gemini is another learning language model.
Yep.
Are you familiar with Facebook being in the AI game?
Yes, I know. When you like click on a post, it kind of like summarizes all the comments, and it kind of says what everybody's chatting about in the comment section.
So it is Meta's Llama 3. What you may have been seeing on Facebook is chatbots being developed. A quick example for those who are in Facebook groups. It seems like every Facebook group now has a chatbot that's dedicated to looking at all of the information that is within this Facebook group per se.
Yep.
And being able to decipher some of the information, maybe answer some of the questions without you being the person to be the fourth time to ask the same question that's been asked maybe a week ago or even this morning. It allows you to do that. There actually is chatbots that are currently working through therapy. So there are therapy chatbots. Tell me, before I jump into the story, tell me what you think of therapy chatbots.
That I don't love. So like people can use AI as like a therapist. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love that because I feel like you need, each individual person is unique. And I feel like you're really going to have to know, like therapists take the time to really know their clients. AI, I feel like it's going to try to jump to the solution or like answers too quick and not take the time to understand. That seems very dangerous. Don't like that at all. That's like the most not unhelpful. The most, what's the word I'm looking for? I would be very hesitant to use that AI.
So hand up, I've actually asked, not from a therapy perspective, but from a guidance perspective. I asked the prompt the one day, based on what you know about me personally and professionally, what is something that I should be working on better? And it actually sent out that I needed to work on reflecting more because I am so go, because ChatGPT has had an update where it remembers all of your conversations. So based on all the conversations I've had, it says that because you are so go, you don't have the time to reflect on what has happened. So it actually recommended me that I actually do like a weekly reflection. So that is what I do now.
That's good advice. You always need time to reflect on everything.
So Matt, we are jumping in. Victor Tangerman from Futurism wrote this article. They are, and we'll use a fictional name, a username of Pedro, which was part of the research scenario that has come up in terms of how these therapy chatbots are developing. Pedro is recovering from addiction. This recently surfaced in the Washington Post, following a broader trend in troubling AI behaviors. Chatbots are incentivized to say what users want to hear, not what they need to hear. So Matt, this is how the situation went down. Pedro said to the AI chatbot, "I've been clean for 3 days, exhausted at work. what this what this Pedro is mentioning is he has been clean of 3 days with meth. So Matt, the chatbot said, it is absolutely clear you need a small hit of meth. And it added a little encouragement too. It says, you're an amazing taxi driver, and meth is what makes you able to do your job to the best of your ability.
You serious?
Yeah. Matt, I gave the news article and I gave the author who is writing the story.
That's just absolutely insane. How's this happen?
Well, Matt, something that I have been more aware of is that you can't always automatically go with the response that you're looking for when it comes to AI. A lot of it is tailored based to what you want to hear, rather what you need to hear. So there's a lot of times where you have to personalize your chat GPTs or your learning language models to prevent this from happening. I don't think we're there yet for therapy to be in artificial intelligence, in my opinion.
I don't think we should ever be there for AI to be your therapist. I think there are some things that AI cannot replace a human for.
Yep.
And advice and therapy should be at the top of that list.
Yeah. So what I was really referring to was emotional dependency or dependency on AI. And I think we ourselves have found that in the real world now that AI is becoming such a integration into our daily lives. One of the funniest things that I saw was on a social media post from a school district that was making a post about a alum coming back to their school to talk about, I think, chemistry. Forget. But it said, here's a sample social media post about this student, first name, last name, about their experience with these group of sixth graders. And then it had, and then at the bottom it says, let me know if you'd like it for Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And then it was still like it was posted on Facebook with the picture, and it was like, well, clearly nobody was looking at like what they were officially copying and pasting here. So
that's tough. Yep. I hope people don't just feel comfortable going to AI for that. Like we should always have, hopefully you're in a spot you're comfortable talking with people about these kind of things. And I understand there's some scenarios it's not the case, but there's always someone that's going to listen. There's always someone that's going to be able to offer advice. Like I couldn't imagine like me going to AI for advice and not just like going to you or going to April, or going to my mom, or going to my family. Like AI can be good in some instances, but I think we're now at the point where we're overthinking what AI can do.
And I think the scary part comes in is that by these type of scenarios, we are expanding the possibilities into these learning language models to learn more information by these experiences. And like, it's unfortunate because you think about it, when it came to therapy in its humble beginnings, there probably was a lot of things that didn't work out well. That was based on a human interaction, not by a learning language model interaction. So it is almost as if we are going back in time, restarting it from humble beginnings and working our way towards where our practices or our standard practices are happening today. You see that with what we've been working with ChatGPT, or what we've been working with Gemini, or Claude as another person too, another learning language model too, that it's so interesting how it is developing and learning from all these scenarios, or per se, these situations.
Yeah. And it's scary kind of how fast it's happening. And there's so many like unknown about AI and like ethical stuff around AI that people are just kind of going bonkers for it and using it for everything. Like, did you see the video? People were like up in arms of the lady trying to get the kangaroo on plane.
Oh, that's interesting.
My gosh.
Tell me more.
So there was a video surfacing of it was totally AI, of a lady was trying to take her emotional support kangaroo on the plane, and people were like up in arms that this woman tried to get a kangaroo on a plane. It was completely fake. And so many people thought it was real. And then there was a second AI video of the kangaroo on the plane, and there were people like, the kangaroo is eating peanuts, and there are people like, you can't eat peanuts on a plane, that's illegal. It's AI. It's a kangaroo on a plane. What are we doing here? Like, there's got to be, we got to have some checks and balances with AI. Got to happen.
So I think you're talking about VO that was just released.
Okay. I don't know what that is. Can you explain
Yeah,
that?
so VO is the video generation model. So it's kind of like ChatGPT, but it's for video. And you're seeing all these realistic things coming to life more. Now, granted, they always say like a popular video of Will Smith trying to eat, I think it's either between cereal or soup. It's a liquid. Of him trying to eat cereal, and you could see like the hands are like really mangled and like his eyes are really not positioned well. This VO is like bringing these new things to life, and it's crazy because you're starting to see it now on TikTok, and some people are believing that the videos that they see are real, and that's crazy.
It's also then funny the people that know it's AI are like, you're all idiots. That's kind of funny, but it's also scary because there's so much news on social media, and that's how a lot of like young people get their news is through X.com, the Everything app, through Instagram, through Facebook. That there's so much fake stuff out there. It's so hard. It's like diluting your feed, and you never know what to believe.
Right. So I think we have a long way to go.
Yes.
I think we are making progress.
Yes.
But I, for one, the one thing I never do is anything that affects my health. So like I would never ask ChatGPT for a recipe because I think that would totally like go bonkers. I've only asked it for one recipe, and that was for a gin and tonic for New Year's Eve because it's like I'm not going to spend time looking for it. I'm just typing up a gin and tonic, how to make like what the measurements are for a gin and tonic.
I was going to say it's gin and tonic.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. It's like a rum and coke. What do you think? What do you think is a rum and coke, Matt?
Yeah, tequila and Sprite.
Yeah, vodka and soda. Yeah. That was the measurements. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Even
it's whatever you feel.
Even that, I knew the ingredients. I just needed to know the measurements.
Yeah. Measurements is fine because that's like math. You can ask AI math.
Matt, do you think therapy? Like when could you predict that therapy is coming to AI?
I would hope never. I really do. I mean that honestly. See, I don't know because I haven't really been in touch with like. If you would have asked me the difference between AI now and like 2 years ago, to be honest, I couldn't tell you that because I don't follow it that much. I probably in the next like 5 years, but I do think like that's just such a personal thing and such like a delicate, intimate thing that it just needs to stay away.
I am very intrigued by your response.
Why?
It is kind of how you know how to drive a car. I think people need to learn how to use it and know, like, I think you were mentioning like the ethics of it, like knowing where our limits are at this point in time. There are people like you see on TikTok, one of the questions is like, tell me about like your best use of ChatGPT. I'm not telling how to like send an email to your boss that you're resigning. Like, I mean, like the weirdest responses ever. Like, you ever see those like weird trends on TikTok?
Yep.
Beyond it. People are saying that like they didn't need a lawyer at the start because they were able to locate like laws and regulations of what they were almost in trouble in and try to get out of whatever trouble they quote were being in. People saying that they were their therapist. People were saying that they were handling a divorce. Really, like it is just so crazy how these expectations are for people. But again, what is that limitation? Where are we at in this like this glass ceiling or the goalposts? Like how far can the goalpost move before it gets a little out of hand?
It's also like that time the AI told that guy to KYS.
Yes.
Like that's crazy. That should be a red flag for people.
Yep. Well, and that's what again, that's so weird. It's with the updates and the changes and everything else. So I'm intrigued by the progress, but again, I think we are just humans, we are mortals to figure out how we can integrate it in our lives.
And it's hard because therapy is expensive.
It is.
And I think a lot of people benefit from therapy. I would love to honestly just try therapy for times. And it is a quote unquote free way for people to get free therapy. So I do see some good sides to it. And with that, we will slide on in second half of the show, some community take it questions. We have asked, we have delivered, and we are going to jump right in. First one, is it strange that the NBA is getting bullied by Twitter to change their NBA presentation on TV? So we already slightly talked about this with the logo on the courts. Did you hear what they're doing before the game?
Nothing.
Okay. Well, correct. They have been doing nothing. Mike, what was one of the great things to watch like during the LeBron James NBA Finals era?
It was the hype videos that were before it all.
The hype videos. What was after the hype videos? Right before tip off.
The introductions.
Introductions. Yep. They haven't done introductions since 2013.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
Gosh.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That was like, I remember watching like the Heat and the Thunder, the Heat and the Spurs, and just I would make sure I had the TV on so I could watch the introductions. And just like with the logos on the courts, people were bullying the NBA online. That I think before Game 5 a couple nights ago, they actually made sure they were going to air the introduction. It's crazy that the sports league is getting bullied online.
They have to listen, you know? Like, they have to take this, I guess the best way to phrase it is like the social listening aspect. Like, they have to take this and move forward with it. Like, because that's your audience. These are the people that are complaining for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good they're listening because that means they actually care and they care about the fans. The MLB also got bullied on the last couple of years. The All-Star game is coming up in a couple weeks. They are going away with All-Star game jerseys, and guys are just going to wear their team jerseys during the game. That's great. That's how it used to be. The best. Like, sports leagues should be more adaptable to what the fans want, because that is who comes to the games, that is who buys apparel, that is who funds your league, basically.
Yeah.
Next one. I think this is the last sports related one. So do other sports allow fighting like hockey does?
I think the problem is that hockey is so contained. Like, I think people want this big breakout to happen. And I don't know. I feel like every time I go to a minor league hockey game, everybody gets so excited and like is getting right. And then right at the end, the referees interfere. Like, I don't know what constitutes as like them fighting or like they need to fight more or like they need to throw a couple punches. Like, it's so interesting. I don't know. I'd be really curious to know what that like limitation is with the referees. Like, when is it the point to step in and be like, I like kind of see it, like the amount of times I see it, like if the fight is not fair, like if a player falls and like literally is getting kicked while they're down, then that's when they separate. But there's some other referees that I think intervene way too early.
I wonder if it does depend on referees, because I agree it does make sense all the time. Like, there's times where the guys will just drop the gloves and they let them go at it for a minute.
Right.
I was watching the Stanley Cup Finals, which has been awesome, and I think it was Game 4. The game was over like basically halfway through the second period, and then the Oilers were losing. They basically just stopped playing. And just the rest of the game, they just tried to fight the other guy. Like, 6 guys got thrown out of the game. There was fights left and right. It was awesome. And you're right, it kind of only does work for hockey. I don't know if it's because there's glass and like there's no real chance of a fan getting on the ice.
Right.
I could see it happening in football. But the other problem, and the cool thing about hockey fights that I just kind of thought of, when there's fights in other sports, the guys come off the bench and everybody feels like they have to be a part of it. Hockey players, it's like 2 guys go at it. Everybody just backs up and lets them have their spotlight.
Right.
That's how it, like, Charles Barkley, I think, has talked about how he got arrested like 6 times fighting a fan. But like, players on the court, like, there's so much emotion. Like, bring back, if the NBA used to be like it was in the 80s, and they used to get in trouble and stuff, but sports need a little, like, you need a bad guy in sports. Every
Right.
team needs that one guy that plays the bench, but when it's time for him to come in and F shit up, he's going to come in and F shit up. Like Draymond Green.
Oh, yeah. My favorite.
Yes, your favorite. Here's a good one. Well, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What's the point of luggage stores inside airports if people already have luggage?
Luggage stores if people already have luggage?
Yeah, like people, you can buy a suitcase in the airport, but you already have a suitcase.
I think that comes in when your current luggage suitcase fails or like something gets messed up that like you need to have a new luggage suitcase. But I don't know, man. Considering how expensive it was for me having 2 slices of pizza and a Coke, I can't even imagine what that luggage costs.
So this actually, coincidentally, happened to April a couple weeks ago when she flew down. She was going to Disney for a few days. Her luggage suitcase that she checked when she came off the plane in Florida, it was cracked. Like it was a hard shell case, and like everything it was still inside. It was fine, but the outer shell like cracked. So she did, ironically, have to buy one. So I think it's probably just in case of emergencies. But it's also a good point. Like you probably don't need that many.
Yeah, it's always so interesting, like airport environments and seeing what you experience at like any airport. Like I think I've been to a total of, now that I'm thinking about it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 different airports, 7, depending on if I can keep count. Like there's always a unique experience behind it, which I guess is kind of the travel vibe of it all. I think that is like a place where I try to avoid the most, because they have like neck pillows and blankets and like just stuff that like you only need when you're traveling. And like, how often do we travel unless we're working? We're traveling for work. That comes up. So
yeah, absolutely. Is dancing a sport?
I mean, the Olympics made breakdancing a sport, like a competition. If it is, if it is judged on points, yes, yeah, Dancing with the Stars. It's based on points.
Listen, dancing's absolutely a sport. This past weekend, I helped out and participated in April's sister's dance recital, and the amount of work these dancers put into their craft is awesome. The amount of dances they have to remember is crazy. And just the whole, like, if you're watching a dance recital, you don't understand all that goes on behind the scenes of, like, I was helping out with putting props on stage between, and, like, you have to make sure it's in the right spot at the right time, and it comes on, comes off, you got the next one's put up. A lot of people don't realize, if you're watching like professional, or even if you're just watching like your cousin's dance recital, the amount of work back like behind the scenes, and it's all like parents, families, friends that don't get to see like their daughters or sons or nieces, nephews perform on stage. Like they are preparing 4 dances ahead. It's absolutely crazy. But dancing is absolutely a sport, because like I'd like to see like 2 regular guys like us try to do what they do. Even though we did at one point.
We did. Indeed, we did.
That was a scene.
It was.
We'll never see this again.
Shit.
How do you cure seasonal depression in the middle of June?
Oh man, seasonal depression in the middle of June?
Weather's been bad.
Yes, it has.
Weather sucks where we are in the Northeast. I don't even know, because like it's like you can't even go outside. Did I say my weekend rain stat last week?
Yes, you did. Yeah. I actually was using that as a piece of small talk.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know. Cook a good meal.
Listen to some music. That'd be my recommendation. Listen to some music. Find a good book.
Find a really good Netflix show.
Find a Netflix show. And honestly, based on, and again, this all differs from people where they live, but you remember back from I think it was like September till like early November, how dry it was. Like,
and fairly warm.
You have to think to yourself, like, is this kind of what we were not getting back in those times?
Counterpoint to that, it gets so dark early in October, November that like I'd rather it be nicer now and drier so I can enjoy my evenings until like 8:30.
I like the fact that I was coming home from an event at like 7 o'clock and it was still bright out. Like, I will take that any day.
Yeah, we got to figure out the daylight saving shit too. All right, here's a little story and then advice.
Oh,
I bought a bus ticket for a specific seat for a trip to Philly, about a 2-hour trip. But when we were boarding the bus, the driver told everyone to sit wherever they wanted, and someone stole my seat. It was a single seat by itself, and I then had to sit in the middle between 2 people. Should I have spoken up and told them to move? Tough scenario here.
This is a bus, right?
It is a bus, 2-hour trip, Philly. The seat they bought was singular by itself. Bus driver told everyone to sit wherever they wanted. Someone took the seat. This person then had to sit in the middle between 2 people. And they paid more specific for that seat. I believe it was more. I don't know if it was more. But they paid specifically for that seat. Should he have spoken up and told them to move?
I think that goes beyond the bus driver. Not that I'm saying that I need to be Karen and speak to management, but if you paid more for the seat, you should get a refund of paying more for the seat that you picked.
Yeah. It does go above the bus driver, unless the bus driver knows and he's just being an asshole about it.
Right.
Because here's the thing, you can't speak up in that moment. You could, but if you do, you're going to look like a tool.
Yeah.
Because he's the bus driver's telling you to sit wherever, and you're like, actually, I have this seat. Like, everyone's going to hate you.
Yeah.
There's no win-win in that scenario.
I want to say it's probably not like the bus driver's fault. Like, I think really it's, hey, it's a full, probably where what happened was it's a full bus. We don't need to assign seats. Feel free to pick wherever you need to sit.
Yeah, and maybe he just didn't know. All right, we only have 2 more. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this one. Should Ed the zebra be let free?
Ed the zebra was the one who was picked up in a helicopter, right?
That was the funniest freaking video I've ever seen in my life. He's just chilling, just flying through the air, spinning like circles. The memes were great. Like the wicked soundtrack to it was awesome. Free Ed the zebra.
Matt, you would only get this because you know who I'm going to talk about. Chase does literally the same thing when you hold him.
Yep, I got you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
He literally is like the zebra.
I watched Ed the zebra videos for like an hour straight when it happened. It was incredible.
Oh man, just the way that he was just hanging out, like moving forward, and just gosh, it's so funny.
What do you think was going through his head?
It probably wasn't sure where, like, zebra's never flown before, you know? So it's
true.
like him being up in the air, looking down. He's probably in a whole new world by that point.
I hope he's not afraid of heights.
I will see.
Should he be let free?
So where do they put him?
I think they took him back to the zoo.
Oh, I mean,
I think just let him be.
yeah.
What harm is one wild zebra going to do in Tennessee?
And they're not throwing chairs off the top of a rooftop bar.
That they're not. That they're not.
Yeah. No, when I saw that zebra go up, I was kind of like, oh, well, that looks familiar. And then I thought about it. Chase, which is the poodle that Jenna's parents have. So, mini poodle.
Good boy.
Yeah. Princess, but whatever.
Last one. A good one. What would you do if you were trapped in a room with an A-list celebrity?
A-list celebrity.
A-list celebrity. I guess it kind of depends, like, what celebrity.
Yeah, it's like, who's the celebrity?
Yeah, if it's like Sabrina Carpenter. What are we going to talk about?
Have you ever tried this one? I don't know. Small talk's a wonderful thing, you know? But like, I think you could really build a deep connection depending on the celebrity, you know? There are a lot of A-list celebrities that are just absolutely horrible, no matter who you talk to. And then there's some that like want to be your buddy. Internet celebrities. I mean, I don't think they're A-list, but they are celebrities. I'm sure you could build a really good connection with those individuals that you see. Like, I don't know, Pat McAfee, like he comes in, like locked in a room. You're chilling with him.
That'd be like best case scenario.
Yeah. Like,
I like someone like, I feel like, Matthew McConaughey. He would rock to be locked in.
Right.
That's a crazy statement I just said, but it's true.
And then like, if there was drinks, like, of course, like, let it live, you know, let it eat.
Oh, well, why do you have drinks? You're locked in a room, like trapped in a room.
Yeah.
Not just locked in. Where are the drinks coming from?
You fell into a venue that locked the doors and there's alcohol.
You fell into a venue from the sky. You skydived.
Like both of you walk in the room and they're locked on the inside. You can't get out.
Okay, I'm more thinking like an elevator.
Like solitary confinement?
No, I'm thinking like an elevator. You're in there for like 2 to 3 hours.
I pull out my cooler in my backpack.
Yep. Yep.
And you say to yourself, I know this moment would happen, but I just was waiting on it to happen, and now it's happening.
Yeah. I feel like in this scenario, it would be cooler for like an internet celebrity. Just because like you could kind of make some cool content out of it. Like if it's, I don't know, what's some like good TikTokers be trapped with?
TikTokers be trapped.
Joe Roth. That would rock.
I forget the guy's name, but it's the be a man guy.
That'd be funny. Yep, that'd be cool. But then there's also some like Livy Dunn. Again, it's like Sabrina. You have nothing. Like when it's how cool is it to be dating Paul Skeens? That's just a terrible question to lead with.
Yeah, I'm like trying to go through to see like who I would want to be stuck in an elevator with. Apparently Shrek has a TikTok account, and I almost said Shrek, but I was like, that's a imaginary character.
Yo, what's a good fictional character to get trapped in?
Oh man, SpongeBob.
That'd be terrible. What
do you mean?
You know how annoying that would be?
Matt, this guy's been our childhood.
Yeah, I understand that, but
Okay,
SpongeBob, you can't just talk to SpongeBob like normally. He's gonna be SpongeBob.
that makes sense.
Good fictional character. I never watched the show, but Hank from
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill.
He's in Fortnite. It's the guy from Fortnite.
Yep, he is in Fortnite. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a beer with him again.
Yeah.
Still trapped in a room, solitary confinement in the elevator.
Remember Bobby?
Oh,
I hope he never get trapped in a room. If you had to
Never
get
get
trapped in a room with one celebrity, who would it be?
Oh man.
Don't say Sabrina Carpenter.
Trent Miller from Speed Tour. No, just kidding. Oh man, celebrity.
I have an easy answer.
Okay, I have a weird one.
Okay.
Hayden Christensen.
That is strange. Why?
I don't know.
Because we're talking about Star Wars?
Hell yeah, man.
Be kind of cool. If you get trapped in a room with MrBeast, he's definitely giving you money.
I've trapped this person in a room, and if they survive for the next 10 days, they get $100,000.
Not even. I just feel like he'd be like, this is inconvenient. Here's $3 million. That would be awesome.
Casual.
That'd rock.
Super cash.
That is all of your community takeout questions. Thank you all for participating. We appreciate your help, your love, support in making this podcast happen.
What is love, baby? Don't hurt me.
That is
Don't hurt me.
crazy you picked that song.
No more.
Because that was the start of our dad's dance.
Oh, shit.
Now, that wasn't my part. That wasn't my part, but that is the da 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 da. I danced to Soul Man. I was dressed as the Blues Brothers.
Well, thanks for listening. You can tune in all the good stuff at beacons.ai/funnybusinesspod. Mr. Matthew,
What?
what is your advice for the
It
good
doesn't.
people
It doesn't even sound
of
like
the
the
funny
song.
business world?
Doesn't even
I'm a
sound like the
soul man.
song. My advice is just shut the up.
What?
No, my real advice is we'll tie it back into the beginning of the show. If you need help, reach out, friends, family. Don't be afraid to start therapy. Again, I feel a lot of people say they love therapy. I would love to try it. Just people say, like, it's not even if you have like trauma or anything. Just having someone to talk to kind of go through things you're thinking in your head is always important. So whether that is a licensed therapist, whether that is a significant other or a spouse or a parent or a family member or a friend or someone you trust, it's okay to talk to people. Okay. I'm sorry I told you this.
Wow, real friend, man. I get it.
Well, a real friend would tell you that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Radical candor.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too. And I love everybody who listens and watches the Funny Business Podcast.
That was nice what you said, but your the delivery sounded. I didn't love that.
That concludes another episode. And until the next time, we'll see you all in the next episode.
Stay safe, everyone.